7 days before I was supposed to walk down the aisle, I opened my hotel room door expecting to surprise my best friend with coffee. Instead, I found her kissing my fiancé, and neither of them realized I had just watched my entire future disappear. My name is Rachel, and until that morning I thought I was one of the luckiest women in Chicago. I was 29 years old, worked as a marketing coordinator for a healthcare company, and had spent the last 4 years building a life with my fiancé, Ethan. He was a financial advisor who seemed kind, dependable, and completely devoted to me. We had spent nearly a year planning our wedding, saving every extra dollar, and dreaming about buying our first home together. My best friend, Olivia, had been part of that dream from the beginning. We met during our freshman year of college and never drifted apart. She helped me choose my wedding dress, planned my bridal shower, and promised she would stand beside me as my maid of honor. She knew every detail of my relationship with Ethan because I trusted her with everything. The week before our wedding was supposed to be exciting. Family members had started arriving from different states. Our venue was decorated. The caterer had confirmed the menu. Every evening was filled with wedding calls, final appointments, and laughter. At least that was what I believed. Looking back now, the warning signs were there. Ethan suddenly became protective of his phone. Olivia started canceling plans with strange excuses. Whenever the three of us were together, I sometimes caught them exchanging quick glances before looking away. I convinced myself I was imagining things. Stress does that to people before a wedding, I kept telling myself. One evening my younger sister, Megan, quietly asked, "Do you think Ethan has been acting different lately?" I smiled and shook my head. "He is probably just nervous." She looked uncertain but let the conversation end. I wish I had listened to her. I wish I had trusted the small voice that kept telling me something was wrong. Instead, I kept counting down the days until my wedding, never imagining that the two people I loved most were already counting down for a completely different reason. The morning everything changed began like any other wedding week morning. Olivia had spent the night at the hotel where several members of our wedding party were staying. She texted me early. "I forgot my makeup bag. Can you bring it before our dress fitting?" I smiled and grabbed the bag from my apartment. It never crossed my mind that anything was unusual. When I reached the hotel, I sent her a message saying I was outside. There was no reply. I figured she was probably in the shower, so I used the spare room key she had given me the day before. As soon as I opened the door, I heard laughter. Then I heard Ethan's voice. For one brief second, I actually smiled. I thought he had come to surprise both of us. I stepped inside. Olivia was standing with her arms around him. Before either of them noticed me, they kissed. Not a quick mistake. Not an awkward accident. The kind of kiss that only happens when two people have been together for a long time. The makeup bag slipped from my hands and hit the floor. They turned toward me at the same time. Olivia's face went completely white. "Rachel, I can explain." Ethan took one step toward me. "This is not what it looks like." I laughed through tears. "Really? Then tell me exactly what it looks like." Neither of them answered. The silence told me everything. I walked out before either of them could stop me. Halfway down the hallway, Ethan caught up with me. "Please don't leave like this." I looked straight into his eyes. "How long?" He lowered his head. "About 6 months." 6 months. Half of our engagement. While I was choosing flowers and writing wedding vows, they had been building their own relationship behind my back. I felt sick. I drove home without saying another word. Less than an hour later my phone started ringing. First Ethan. Then Olivia. Then Ethan again. I ignored every call. Finally a text message appeared from Olivia. I never wanted to hurt you. It just happened. I stared at those words for several seconds. People do not accidentally lie every single day for 6 months. They choose to. That evening Ethan came to our apartment. He stood outside the front door. Please let me explain. I opened the door just enough to face him. There is nothing left to explain. He looked desperate. I still love you. I shook my head. No. You loved having someone who trusted you while you were betraying her. Those are two completely different things. For the first time since finding them together, I saw fear in his eyes. Not fear of losing me. Fear that the life we had spent years building was finally beginning to collapse. The next morning I called my parents and told them the wedding was over. My mother cried with me. My father drove to my apartment without asking a single question. He simply hugged me and helped me cancel vendors one by one. I thought the worst part was behind me. I was wrong. By that afternoon Ethan's parents were calling non-stop. His mother finally reached me. Rachel, everyone makes mistakes. Don't throw away 4 years together over one bad decision. I could hardly believe what I was hearing. One bad decision? They lied to me for 6 months. She sighed. People get confused before weddings. You should at least hear him out. I ended the call without another word. Then came an even bigger shock. Several mutual friends began sending me messages. Most of them had known about Ethan and Olivia for weeks. One friend admitted, "We thought you already knew." Another wrote, "Olivia asked us not to tell you because she said Ethan was going to break off the engagement soon." Every message felt like another betrayal. It was not only the two people I trusted most, an entire circle of people had stayed silent while I planned a wedding built on lies. That night I sat alone in my apartment surrounded by unopened wedding gifts. I looked at my wedding dress hanging in the corner of the room. Just a week earlier it had represented the happiest day of my life. Now it felt like a reminder of everything I had lost. For hours I blamed myself. How could I miss something that so many other people had already seen? What was wrong with me? My younger sister Megan came over carrying dinner. She found me sitting on the floor with tears running down my face. Without saying anything, she sat beside me. After a long silence she quietly said, "Rachel, you trusted people who did not deserve your trust. That is not your failure." Those words stayed with me. The following morning I woke up feeling different. The pain was still there, but so was something else. Clarity. I packed every one of Ethan's belongings into boxes and asked the apartment manager to change the locks. Then I contacted every wedding vendor. The florist. The photographer. The venue. The hotel. One by one I cancelled every reservation that was under my name and recovered as much money as possible. For the first time since catching Ethan and Olivia together, I was no longer reacting to their betrayal. I was taking back control of my own future. And this time, I was making every decision for myself, not for the wedding that would never happen. A few days after the wedding was supposed to happen, Ethan came to my apartment one last time. He looked exhausted. His eyes were red, and he spoke so quietly I almost did not recognize his voice. "I ruined everything," he said. "Please let me fix this." I looked at him for a long moment before answering. "You already made your choice. I am finally making mine." I closed the door without waiting for another word. Not long afterward I learned that Ethan and Olivia had started dating publicly. From what mutual friends told me, the relationship that had seemed worth destroying my future quickly became filled with arguments, distrust, and accusations. Neither of them could trust someone who had already proven they were willing to betray the person closest to them. Months later I accepted a promotion that moved me to Seattle. It was the fresh start I never expected but desperately needed. I found a new apartment, made new friends, and slowly rebuilt the confidence I thought I had lost forever. One afternoon my phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. "I hope one day you can forgive me." I read it once, then deleted it without replying. Forgiveness did not require another conversation. It only required letting go of the life that was never real. Looking back now, I no longer remember the wedding that never happened. I remember the truth that saved me before I promised forever to the wrong man. Losing my fiancé and my best friend felt like the end of my world. Instead, it became the day I stopped settling for people who could fake love, and finally started believing I deserved the real thing.